Hello, everyone. My name is Malia Garcia, and today I will be presenting my research proposal on the effect of flavored match chewing gum on memory retention. This project explores how something as simple as chewing gum might influence learning and recall, and how sensory cues can shape the way we remember information. I'm excited to walk you through the idea, the background research, and my proposal study. Why this topic matters. Memory plays a central role in our academic performance, daily tasks, and how we even navigate the world. Cognitive psychology has long shown that memory isn't just about the information itself. It's deeply shaped by context in which we learn. One idea that speaks directly to this context-dependent memory, which suggests we recall information better when the learning and testing environments match. Sensory cues like smells, sounds, and even flavors can act as triggers that bring back stored information. So I began wondering, can something as ordinary as chewing gum serve as one of these cues? And if so, could students use this to support studying and test taking? From my prior research, one foundational study that inspired this proposal is by Baker and colleagues in 2004. They examined whether chewing gum during both learning and recall would influence memory performance. They found that participants who chewed gum during both phases performed significantly better on one-word recall tasks compared to participants who chewed gum only during one phase who didn't chew at all. This study suggests that gum chewing can function as a contextual cue. Not necessarily because gum directly boosts memory, but because the sensory experience creates consistency between learning and recall. Another study that relates by Johnson and Miles in 2008 looked more closely at the role of flavor. Instead of just chewing or not chewing, they compared different gum flavors such as mint and fruit. The results were interesting. They didn't find strong overall effects of gum chewing on memory, but they did notice small improvements when participants chewed the same flavor during both studying and testing. While the effect sizes were modest, this hinted that flavor may act as a retrieval cue under certain conditions. It also highlighted that consistency might matter more than chewing alone. For additional evidence, two larger reviews gives us more context. Tucha and Quartz in 2012 examined gum chewing across many studies and found that although results are mixed, gum chewing can improve certain aspects of cognition depending on the timing and context. Quacks and colleagues in 2015 explored multisensory integration in working memory. Their review showed that when multiple sensory cues are aligned, for example visual and gustatory cues work together, memory performance can improve. This supports the idea that flavor might serve as a meaningful cue when it matches across all conditions. Despite these findings, no study has directly compared three conditions within the same experiment. Chewing the same flavor of gum, chewing a different flavor of gum, or chewing no gum at all. Without examining these three side by side, we can't fully understand how flavor consistency influences recall. My proposal aims to fill this specific gap. For my hypothesis, participants who chew the same flavor of gum during both studying and testing will recall most of the words. Those who switch flavors should perform slightly worse, and participants who chew no gum should recall the least. The key idea here is consistency. The same sensory cues should help reactivate memory more effectively. This study will include 90 undergraduate students between the ages of 18 to 25. Participants will randomly assign to one of these three conditions: same flavor, different flavor, or no gum. The sample will be recruited from a university research participant pool to ensure a diverse set of students. Random assignment helps control for individual differences in memory ability. The materials for this study is pretty straightforward. 2 flavors of sugar-free gum, mint and fruit, a list of 40 neutral nouns, and a recall test sheet. The recall measure is simple. How many words out of 40 each participant remembers? Using neutral nouns help remove emotional or personal associations that might affect recall. The procedure unfolds in many different steps. Participants first receive instructions and chew their assigned gum for 1 minute if they're in gum condition. All participants then study the 40-word list for 5 minutes. After a 5-minute break, which prevents immediate short-term memory effects, participants complete a recall test by writing down as many words as they can remember. Those in the same flavor chew the same gum during both study and test phases. The different flavor group switches flavors between phases, and the no gum group does not chew gum at all. The setup allows us to isolate the role for flavor consistency. To analyze the results, I will conduct a one-way analysis of variance comparing the mean recall scores across all 3 groups. I expect to find a statistically significant effect of gum condition. Specifically, the same flavor group would recall around 17.5. The different flavor group will call about 15.2, and then the no gum group will call about 14.8. This bar graph visually represents the predicted pattern. You can see that recall performance highest when the flavor is matched during studying and testing. The difference between groups doesn't have to be enormous to be meaningful. Even small improvements in recall can have practical implications for studying strategies. These expected results would support the idea that sensory consistency enhances memory retention. If flavor matching improves recall, even modestly, it reinforces the broader principle of context-dependent memory. These findings would connect strongly to Baker's work, which emphasized matching context, and to Kwak's research on multisensory cues. It also highlights that flavor played more of an important role than chewing alone, which helps explain the mixed results in past studies. There are several limitations to keep in mind. The sample consists only of college students, which limits generalizability to other age groups or populations. The word list task also is somewhat artificial and doesn't reflect actual academic material, like textbook chapters or essay prompts. Future studies could include more diverse participants, use more complex learning materials, or examine physiological mechanisms behind sensory-based memory cues. It will also be interesting to test whether sensory cues like sense can produce similar effects. In conclusion, this study aims to clarify how flavor consistency influences memory and whether something as simple as chewing the same flavor of gum while studying and testing can improve recall. If supported, this provides an easy, accessible strategy that students could use in real-life academic settings. The broader message is that context matters, and even small sensory details can shape our ability to remember.